Hello and welcome back to the garden. In this video I'm going to be taking some basil cuttings from some of our perennials. During the spring, as the new shoots of our perennials are emerging, now is a great time to be taking basil cuttings. So these are cuttings that are taken from small 5 to 10 centimetre shoots of the emerging perennials, and you're taking the cut right down into the base of the crown of the plant. So the basal part is basically the base of the plant, so the base cutting basically. And there's lots and lots of perennials you can do this on. We just have a selection today that we'd like to increase numbers of. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to do them, and then we'll pot them up once I've gathered them all together, and then we can just get them potted up and let them root. So the first one I'm going to show you is on asters. So this is a very congested pot of aster. As you can see, it is in need of dividing or making into a bigger pot. We're actually going to divide this as well as take some cuttings. So I'm going to show you what we do with this. So what we need is some polythene bags. So these are going to act as our collectors and also as our little mini greenhouse. So we're going to put these over the pots once we've done the cuttings. So I'm going to first of all get the first one, which is aster. So I've just written that down on the bag what plant's going to be in here. And one of the most important things when you're doing this kind of cutting, or any cutting really, is that whatever you're using, your knife is sterilised. So in between doing each different cutting, I'm just going to use some disinfectant to make sure that the knife doesn't carry any transferable viruses or bacteria. So something like J's fluid is ideal, but I've just got a normal household disinfectant at the moment I'm using. So in between each plant I'm going to be doing the same thing, just disinfecting the knife. So as you can see, this lovely aster is growing quite vigorously now, and there's lots and lots of shoots we can take from this. So with your knife that's now disinfected, what we're going to be doing is placing that down. So decide which shoot you want to use, and you're literally putting the knife right down into the compost, into the soil, and you're severing the shoot right from where it's growing. And what you're looking to do is get some of that basal crown within your cutting. And once you've got that, what you then do, if we get the right bag, is you place that straight away in a bag. And that's just so I can collect all of these and they don't end up drying out in between. So again, right down, I'm taking here that crunch, and then you've got your cutting there. I'm just going to take maybe 4 or 5 of these, so you can go around the edges. You can choose whichever shoots you decide to take. Might take a few there and this side there. So hold your cutting with one hand and sever with the other. And sometimes you might be lucky enough to get a little bit of root on it as well, which I think with this one I will do. A little bit of root, so that's perfect cutting there. And I'll have another couple from the edge. There we go. It's got 2 bits to it. Then I'll go for one more. There we go, that has got a little bit of root on it. So if you do get a bit of root on it, apparently that's known as an Irishman's cutting. So I'm not quite sure what the history of that name is, but if anyone knows, please drop that in the comments. But that's known as an Irishman's cutting if you get a little bit of root on your basil cutting. So with them nicely taken, I'm now just going to zip that up, keep the moisture in, and we'll go on to the next one. So I'm now on to the next plant, and this is a Helenium. This is growing lovely at the moment. We divided this last year into 2 clumps, but doing basil cuttings is such a wonderful way of increasing your stock of plants without having to disturb the plants too much. And if you just take maybe 3 or 4 different basil cuttings from these, you're not going to actually affect the plant too much. There's still going to be a big enough plant to grow this year and give a good performance. So for this one, you want to be looking at trying to find a discreet little shoot just like that one, and with your knife you're just slicing that all the way down and away from the parent. So just getting the right angle where it is. Oh, and that has actually come off with some roots, so again that makes a beautiful cutting. And let's go for another one. So maybe that one there. Sometimes it's difficult to get one that's separate, so go for that. Into the soil, and then if we can just lift that away. There we go. Again, that's got a nice piece of root on as well, so that'll be a lovely cutting. And then just one more. I'll go for this one here. That's the one. And out it comes. A bit shorter one, that one. That'll be fine. So again, in between plants, make sure you disinfect. And with this one, just close the bag to make sure these cuttings keep the moisture. And the next plant is this Agastache. Now I recently did a video on taking stem tip cuttings, softwood cuttings of this from one of the ones we were keeping in our summer house over winter, but this one is probably how you would normally see an Agastache at this time of year in the garden growing outside. So again, with your knife, you just go in, choosing a nice shoot like that and going right down into the soil and just severing it just like that. Pop that into your bag. And then go for a few more. So something like that. Put that into your bag. And then I might go for a couple on this side. Let's have a look. Maybe that one there. And another one. So there you go, that one there. I might just take one more for luck. Find that nice strong one that's growing there. And take that one. There we go. Get that one into the bag and zip that up. Next I'm moving up to Lythrum. So I'm going to take this one, which is the rocket, and these shoots you can see are growing really strong. So I'm just going to grab this back one here as a start, severing it off from the base. And into the bag. A nice one there. At the side, there's probably 2 there going too close together. What I might do is go for this one. Right at the base like that. Just like that. That can go in there. And one more for luck. Here we go, try and get that one there. Oh, maybe that one. There we go. Another one there. So that one was the rocket. And I'm going to wait for the one that's called blush, because there's only 3 shoots that I can see growing already so far. So I'll wait for a few more to come, and then we will take a few of them on separately. And the last one I'm going to take today is this lovely Veronicastrum, and these are the lovely new shoots that are emerging at the moment. So I'm going to try and get a couple of these. So a nice healthy shoot, follow it right down below the soil, and out it pops. So I'll go for that one. There's another one. And I'll go for one of these middle ones. And there we go. Perfect. Then we'll take all these to the potting tray and we'll get them potted up. So that was quite a good haul. I've managed to get lots and lots of these cuttings from the various different perennials, and these are not limited to the ones I've taken today. There are lots of perennials you can do this from, including phlox, nepeta, just to name a few more. So I'm going to get these individually now prepared and potted up into freshly cleaned terracotta pots with some nice gritty compost. So the grit's added to the compost just to aid drainage, because we don't want these to sit there and rot within the compost. So I'm going to start first of all with the Veronicastrum. So I'll take my gloves off for this. So I'm going to take one out at a time. So that is your cutting of Veronicastrum. And what I'm going to do first is just get some of this lovely gritty compost into the pot. I have given this a little bit of water beforehand, so it's not completely dry. And then what we need to be doing is, with that, we're just removing any leaves that are going to be likely to be underneath the compost, because we don't want them to rot off underneath. And I'm actually not going to take anything off the bottom, because that bottom bit is going to have a little piece of the crown of the plant, and that's the bit where it's going to form the roots. So now with some hormone rooting powder, I'm just going to dab that cutting into there, give it a bit of a shake, make a bit of a hole and pop that down, and just firm it around the edges. I'm not going to worry too much about nipping out a tip, because this particular one's going to be quite difficult to work out where the tip is. There's lots and lots of leaves close together, so I'm going to leave that as it is. And you can see on this one here, nice big basil cutting. Again, nice piece at the end there. And I'm just going to remove the lower leaves that are going to be underneath the compost. Probably them as well. So that's a nice strong shoot. And then give that a dip in the hormone rooting powder, and down it goes. I'm going to get that quite near the bottom there. So hopefully by putting them into these polythene bags, we've helped to stop any moisture getting lost through the actual cutting itself, because of course once you remove the cutting from the parent plant, it immediately has no water supply. And I'm going to place that just down the bottom there, just like that. Top up with a bit more compost. I'm just going to give this a bit of a water additionally. Make sure it's thoroughly soaked. To come out the bottom, that's perfect. And then this bag, which we've collected the cutting in, is going to be a dual purpose, because we're now going to use that to create a little mini micro environment for the plant. So it's going to go over the whole plant. Take those bits out. And then just zip it up at the side, and that will lock in the moisture and the water we've just added to the pot. I'm going to place these out of direct sunlight, but somewhere fairly warmish. The warmer we can get it, the better it's going to be, because it's going to produce the roots a lot quicker. So if you do have a propagator or a heated mat, that would be ideal. We're just going to leave these just somewhere towards the back of the summer house, so it's not in direct sunlight, but it does have enough amount of light. So I'll put that to one side. And on to the next one. So the next one we will do is Winston Churchill, which is the Aster. So again, this lovely compost into the container. And let's get this done. So what we need to do with these is just remove the lower leaves, dip it in hormone rooting powder and stick it in the side. Now I'm just going to trim a little bit of this leaf off. I'm just going to take off just a few of these extra leaves, just leaving a few, just to help with not having so much moisture loss. And the same again with this one, so I'll just remove some of those extra leaves, pop it in hormone rooting powder, make a little gap, and in it goes. And same for this one. So maybe 2 or 3 leaves is adequate. This one's got quite a nice longish root, so I'm hoping that'll do really well. Pop that in. In it goes. Move some of these lower leaves, all that one's come apart. Like I said, this is just a wonderful way of getting more plants for free from plants that are already growing. And particularly if you have a really big clump of something that you really like, you can just take maybe even 2 or 3 pots full, and the plant won't even notice you've been, because there's been that much growth already there. And it just saves, if you didn't want to get up the plant and start disturbing the roots, it just helps. It's not actually been dug up and stressed in that way. So that's about adequate. Again, give that a water, bit additional. Using that bag, we create a little mini greenhouse for that to root away. The next one we have is Helenium. Again, another pot, get that filled with compost.
So these are a little bit shorter than the previous ones I've just shown you. Just remove some of that foliage and then just pop that into the hormone and just put that towards the edge. So just removing some of this foliage. This one again has got a little bit of root on it, so that's hopefully going to give it a helping hand. And then we have another one. Remove those leaves. Hormone rooting powder. In it pops. Yeah, I thought I had another one. And this is one with quite a bit of root on it already, so this is already a little mini plant all within its own right. So I'm just going to sprinkle a bit of hormone rooting powder in that because there's quite a bit of soil on that as well, just to give it some additional help. Pop that in, a bit more compost. Bag straight over. Oh no, forgot to water. Don't make the vital mistake of forgetting to water. Getting carried away then. Now the bag can go over. Next up we have the Lythrum, so the loose strife, and I have 3 of these. So just remove any leaves that are going to be underneath the compost. Dab of hormone rooting powder, make a hole and just pop it in. It's pretty much okay as it is. Put it in and just firm around. So this is what is known as vegetative propagation, and what that just means is it's creating an identical plant from the parent. With regards to seeds, when you're sowing seeds, there will be variation, which means the bees will be transporting one bit of pollen to the next and fertilising the plants. The seeds will be created, and what will happen is you will get some variation with the offspring from the seeds. But with this kind of propagation, we're actually getting identical copies. So taking any kind of cuttings or division, you're actually doing vegetative propagation. Done that again, haven't I? Let's get into water. Make sure we don't remember to water. And the very last one, which is the Agastache. I've just got enough compost to do this last one. So again, this is going to be easy because we can nip out the tip on these ones. So nip out the growing tip, remove some of those top leaves, anything that might be underneath the compost, dip it in some hormone rooting powder, and on it goes. Got quite a number of these. Nip out that growing tip. Now this one is quite a big one, so what I might do is just remove that bit there and do that as a separate cutting and see if that works. Remove the growing tip, in it goes, and I might just reduce that leaf by a little bit as well. There we go, maybe that one. And then that last piece, let's just come from the same part. I'm just going to treat as a separate cutting. It does have a bit of a heel on it, so that should help with the rooting. We've got two more. So take that growing tip out, stick it in the hormone, make a hole, and then it pops. And then if you've got too much foliage, just reduce that slightly. And the last one, see if I can squeeze it in, maybe there. Don't forget to water, it's a reminder to myself. And the bag can go all the way over the top. With that, all of the moisture. So we have Agastache, Lythrum, the Helenium, the Veronicastrum, and the Aster. So that's 5 sets of new plants that I'm going to be hopefully adding to other parts of the garden, maybe even the bed that we're creating at the back, the new bed, and that's going to produce us with lots and lots of new plants for absolutely nothing, just the effort of doing the process. So I do really hope you found this video enjoyable and informative, and it's given you maybe some ideas of what you can propagate at home right now during the early part of spring. There's lots and lots, the list is endless on what kind of plants you can do this on. So you can just take lots and lots of cuttings from different plants that you have and produce more plants for free. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you very, very soon on the next one. Enjoy the nice weather, hopefully it will continue and we'll get lots of nice sunny days to enjoy during the spring. I have noticed that it has been a lot better with the slugs this year. These have been growing without any interference from the slugs, so I think the nice weather, the fact that there's not been a lot of rainfall, has really helped to get the perennials up through the ground without the slugs then emerging overnight and just devouring every single shoot in sight. So luckily we have got lots and lots of material that we can be producing cuttings from. So I may hope, fingers crossed, that that does continue and we get more nice days and less slugs affecting our plants. We will see you very, very soon on the next video. In the meantime, please do take care, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. If you've got any comments, please drop them in the comments box below the video. Let us know the kind of things that you're propagating at the moment, share that with our other followers, and we will see you very soon. So please do take care and happy gardening.